Hi, I'm Peter Birch and welcome to today's show. I want to talk about reptile caging. I hope you guys enjoy today's show. If you're new, welcome to the channel. You're in for a treat. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification button to continue to join the adventure. Thanks guys for watching CrittaCam. So today's topic is caging. It's a very touchy subject, I guess, for a lot of people. But should we be gauging people's ability to look after animals based on the cages they use? It's an interesting question. I don't think so, because there's some good and bad points to every type of caging that we've always used. I mean, everyone sees the rack systems or the tub systems, and they absolutely make a lot of people's skin crawl. But the reality is, when you have large numbers of animals and you're producing them and looking after them, it can be tedious, hard work, no matter what you do, any type of caging. Now, the tub systems make it very easy for certain species to be maintained really easy. And one example is obviously the enclosure, the dirt snakes, my favorites. And I find that a lot of my long-term animals really benefit from being placed in these small tubs. They're a small snake anyway, a very tactile snake. So basically, if you put them in a 6-foot cage, these guys would be basically scrunched up in the corner behind the water bowl up against the side of the cage somewhere, and that's typically where they'll spend a lot of time. They'll come out looking for food like all animals, search looking for food. They'll have a good feed and then find that nice warm place where they can sit back and relax. So then they can sit back and find somewhere where they can just sit there and digest their feed and absolutely, just keep on going. Now, that's for the smaller snakes, and let's be honest, even some of the bigger snakes really do benefit from some of the tub rack systems as well. Now, that's because it's so easy to maintain and keep clean, and that's hygiene. Hygiene is a big thing for animals. So regardless of the type of cage or enclosures you're using, hygiene is number one. I mean, you all know that I use these big cages for some of the animals, and I do use tubs for some animals. And of course, lately I've started building some of these bigger enclosures, these bigger, fully decked out, awesome, naturalistic enclosures. And they all have great things and they all have bad things. So let's go back to the full naturalistic enclosure. The bad things about these cages is if you have a problem and there's an outbreak, it's very difficult to maintain the hygiene and cleanliness of that cage. So as you can see, it's an absolute mission to take everything out, take all the animals out, keep an eye on the animals, maintain it all as well as clean and do everything that you need to do. When you have multiple animals in there, you've got to make sure that the animals are all getting fed, are all doing their thing, all getting the opportunity to heat up, digest their food and everything. Can be a little bit difficult. So when you're keeping animals singular in some of these bigger cages, and depending on the size of the animals, depends on the size of the cage they get, same problem. They can, got to be easy to maintain, and cleanliness is number one. So they've got to always have food, they've got to have opportunity to get clean, fresh water, they've got to be cleaned and maintained in a nice, clean manner. Otherwise, it doesn't matter the type of cage you use, you're really setting the animal up for a downfall. Now, I don't have a lot of snakes. A lot of people think I've got a lot of snakes. I've probably got close to 1,000 snakes. So my point is, regardless if you have 1, 10, or 1,000 snakes, you really got to contemplate on how you want to look after them. Obviously, if you've got under 10 snakes, you can build naturalistic big enclosures. That's pretty cool, easy to maintain. But then if you've got a problem, then it could be very difficult to get on top of that and keep it clean and all up to date. Tub systems are easy because you can keep their animals separate individually. So cleaning, feeding, and maintaining. If there's a problem, you can find out which one has the problem. You can isolate it, get on top of that problem pretty quickly and move on. And keeping the animals happy and healthy is the name of the game. And regardless of the type of caging, I think it really comes down to the animal's quality of life. So sometimes the naturalistic cages make us feel good and might not have much of an impact on the poor reptile. Now, this is Spot. Spot's one of my cool little snakes, one of my cool dirt snakes. In fact, Spot is the first dirt snake I had. I got him in 1996, so we're talking about longevity. So longevity is a pretty cool thing. So when I'm talking about keeping animals in cages, in different cages, I mean, I'm not going to stand back and justify or make a decision on someone's ability to keep or maintain their animals based on their choice of caging. I use all types of cages. I use particle bedding, I use non-particle bedding, I use butcher's paper, I use all sorts of things, and there's different reasons why I choose different things, but that's my choice, and I've got a lot of work to do, because no matter what I say I'll do, I'm the guy at the end of the day that's responsible for cleaning, maintaining and feeding my collection. And I think that's the most important thing here, is that you, as the reptile keeper, is the responsibility for these animals thriving and surviving in captivity. So if you're not doing the right thing, they're obviously not going to thrive or do very well. And regardless of the type of cages that you use, I've seen guys with small amounts of animals in big cages do really poorly because they're not cleaning their animals on a regular basis. I've seen guys with tens of thousands of snakes in rack systems, and those animals absolutely thrive because they're getting everything they need. They're getting the food, the water, they're getting the opportunity to thermoregulate, because as reptiles they need to thermoregulate, they need to get warm, they need to get cool, they need to move in and out of those heat zones, because that's what a reptile needs to do. We shouldn't be dictating the animals and locking them up in cages where they can't get the opportunity to increase their heat or decrease their heat as they see necessary. So that's my point of view. You can never judge a book by its cover. Never judge someone's ability to look after a reptile or an animal based on their caging. Look at the animal, take note of the animal's condition, and that's how we should be able to make a better decision. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Something a little bit different. Make sure you hit me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And if you enjoyed today's show, make sure you do me a Spot a favour. Hit the like button. And once again, thanks very much guys for watching CrittaCam, and please share it around. Till next time, bye.